Hi, welcome. Grab a cup of coffee and sit with me for a bit. Today, I wanted to share a little window into what homemaking looks like for me around here these days. And while we're here, I wanted to talk a little about something I'm learning lately as a mom. As a wife, a mother, and a homemaker, one of the often overlooked responsibilities we have is to set the emotional thermostat in our home. Scripture tells us to take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ, and if we're to do that at the level of our thoughts, logically, we are also to manage our emotions, rather than be managed by them. Now, I have by no means learned how to do this perfectly, but if everyone waited until they had things down perfectly to talk about something on their heart, no one would ever talk. So, let's get into some ways we can be intentional about doing this. How are we going to set the tone when the household is made up of more than just us? As a mom who has a fresh 2-year-old, I can attest to the fact that it is very difficult to set the emotional temperature of the home without group participation. But there are some things I have learned help me stay in control and regulated myself, which then influences those around me. First, starting my day at the feet of Christ, whether I'm reading a chapter of scripture in bed from my phone, praying when I'm getting ready for the day, or actually settling in on the couch to study for a while before the kids wake up, I can tell when I skip meeting with him. My fuse is much shorter, my attitude stinks, and I'm just not enjoyable to be near. Secondly, being proactive with auditory input and managing how loud my surroundings are helps me significantly in a very practical way. My personal preference in doing this would be to have in one earbud, even if it's playing nothing. It just kind of mutes my surroundings. I also cannot recommend loop earplugs enough. They're a game changer. It's just enough to take the edge off for your ears. Another tip that I've learned helps me is to eliminate decision fatigue by planning ahead of time what I can and simplifying my options when I can't. In fact, I'm following a content creator on Instagram right now who had the idea to use ChatGPT to sort of upgrade her life in various ways, and one of the perks for her has been to squash decision fatigue. I loved her idea so much that I've done something similar in the last several weeks, and wouldn't you know it's helped? Her handle is @upgradingkatie if you want to check her out. But the reason that this one helps me is I don't handle overstimulation very well. I don't know anyone who does, but I don't do so hot. So checking little things off in advance helps reduce that overwhelm before it can get out of hand. Another would be to hold your routines very, very, very loosely. With a toddler and a baby, it's nearly impossible to keep a schedule. I guess it depends on your kids, but mine seldom nap at the same time, and they often skip naps, making them extra hyper or grumpy in the afternoons. Pray for me. But rhythms are a good thing. Routines are stricter, but rhythms are a little more fluid. On days that my husband works all day, I typically block my day out into 3 chunks to help me compartmentalize. From 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the morning block, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. is the afternoon block, and then 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the evening block. Now, each chunk contains a meal that needs prepared, a possible nap or rest time, and hopefully a few minutes for myself to reset the house a little bit before the next block starts up. This helps the day to go by a little bit more smoothly. Now, I know I just got done saying that my kids don't nap at the same time, but today, while filming this, they were both napping for about 30 minutes, and in that 30 minutes, I got a lot of nothing done. I got a few toys picked up, I got a few dishes washed, I got a few pieces of laundry folded, all of which I filmed, so you're seeing the max that I got done. I'm not comfortable sharing my kids' faces on here, so I stopped recording after they woke up. But if you were wanting a dose of reality, I didn't get a lot done while I was filming because they didn't give me a lot of time. They often don't, so it's nice when I do get that half hour of silent house to myself. It's pretty rare and hard to come by. But back to setting the emotional thermostat of our homes. When you walk into a home where there's unspoken coldness, you feel it almost right away. You can tell almost immediately where tension resides in a home. And I don't want that for my family, and I'm sure you don't want that for your family. Why does staying regulated myself make such a big difference? I'm glad you asked. It's because children learn from example. If they see me yell and slam doors when I'm stressed, guess what they're going to do and think is acceptable to do when they feel stressed? Rather, if they see me exercising restraint over my temper, think of the skill set they're going to pick up from an early age. I mentioned this in my last video, but I have bipolar disorder, and this makes managing my emotions and my mood states extra tricky at times. But rather than that being a throw your hands in the air, this is my excuse to be more relaxed in this discipline, on the contrary, it's the reason I have to be that much more intentional. My emotional baseline can shift really dramatically, much more dramatically than I would like at times, and that makes me more aware of how much my internal state can affect the atmosphere of our home. This doesn't mean that I just pretend I'm fine when I'm not. It just means I've learned that I have to be more intentional about caring for my own nervous system, because my highs and lows can ripple outward toward other people. And I'm just going to be really honest here. Apologizing where you need to is probably a more important lesson than never needing to apologize could teach your kids. Repair teaches our kids emotional safety in an unpredictable world. Knowing how to recover relationships when we mess up is massively important. As imperfect people, we get plenty of chances to practice this. And as mothers, we have the privilege to teach our kids in the home how to do this. But it starts with our own example. So that was just a little peek into what I'm learning about the emotional rhythm of our home. I mess this up all the time. My moods do swing, the house gets messy and loud, and sometimes I just feel completely unqualified to talk about it at all. But even small intentional choices, taking a breath, quieting my own voice, pausing for a minute, it can ripple through the day in ways I didn't expect. Motherhood is not about perfection, it's about presence. Thanks for sitting at the table with me today. I hope you take this with you into your own home.